Understanding Mother Stories podcast with Adeline Dubreuil. Your 10 minutes to talk about mothering and matrescence. Hello Mama and Happy New Year! We are still in January, so I can still say that even if we're almost already halfway through January 2025. Can you believe it? So I apologize for the past few months. I haven't been able to record the podcast or keep on going, but you know how it is. Sometimes life happens and we want to focus on other things. And it was really a time for me to rewind and spend some time with my family, focus on other things for a little while so then I could come back in the new year. So Happy New Year. And I know that some of you might have made resolutions or you might have put some intentions, whatever you chose. Of course, it's up to you. It has to feel good. You have to feel ready to do these things. If you're not sure the difference between resolutions and intentions, please go back to the episode I recorded last year for the new year, which was episode 37. Because, you know, I've talked about like how resolutions are not always something that we manage to keep up, and it doesn't always make us feel good if we can't keep it up. That being more intentional is usually the way to go. But there is something that I've been reflecting on a lot this year is that at the end of the day, you know, we're trying to make resolutions or intentions in January. And this is so random because the fact that the calendar tells us it's a new year doesn't mean that we're actually in a right place to put on some new intentions or some new resolutions. Why? Because here in the Northern Hemisphere, it's the middle of the winter. And in the middle of the winter, as natural beings, we're not usually at the point where we make big changes, where we're blossoming and bursting with energy. This is often a time in the winter to go inward, get a little bit cozier, a little bit more family time, a little bit less energy, and taking care of ourselves is a must. So sometimes putting those intentions in the middle of the winter don't always work. So if you haven't felt this energy to put on some new intentions, or you haven't started working on the intentions you put, then don't feel bad. It's actually quite natural and quite normal. And sometimes this energy comes with the renewal of nature, which is around the spring. So you might just be like this, and you might just not be able to start blossoming and doing these new things before March or April. So, you know, I just wanted to make sure that you knew that there's no pressure. Like the fact that we have entered a new civic year does not necessarily mean that you have to follow that calendar when you go inside of you. So we can still wish each other a happy new year. And for this new year, I just wanted to wish you to be yourself. Because being ourselves in this world with all the shoulds and the must of a patriarchal society, it's not easy for women, and especially for mothers with all the mental load and the responsibilities, to actually feel like we are ourselves. So I really, really wish you to be yourself. To be ourselves, it means that we have to find some kind of balance between our responsibilities, all the things we want to do for others, for our work, for our family, for our children, for our community, and also counteract with having boundaries for ourselves, because having boundaries is what keeps us mentally healthy and also physically healthy. So I really wish you to be yourself and find this balance between what you want to do, who you are, and also the boundaries you have for yourself. This is something that I've been reflecting on the last few days because I was having a conversation with a mom friend, and we were talking about a specific situation, and we were talking about how sometimes we want to have all the love and the compassion for others and support them, but we do need boundaries. And as mothers with our family responsibilities and our children and our partners, it's the same. We have all the love, all the compassion, and we do so much for everybody else, but we do need boundaries so it can work, so we can be authentic, be true to ourselves, and be our best self. The best version of you is probably the one that has boundaries and that you put in a healthy way, in a respectful way, so that everybody can actually live together in harmony. So I really wish you this for 2025. And And back in December, I did a little bit of, looking back to what happened in 2024. In 2024, I had chosen my word to be super bloom. But I think that when I created this word, I really had the hope that super bloom was very actually business oriented. Like everybody promises you see all these business accounts or marketing coaches and things, and everybody promises you that if you put a little bit of work, then you're going to be able to make a lot of money. And as open as I am, as anyone making money, I do think that there is too much pressure put around that as well, and that it's not always that authentic. And it did, create part of my anxiety in 2024 because I really worked a lot on certain things that I absolutely hate, that are sometimes necessary to build a business, but that are not always easy, especially when you balance that with family life and homeschooling, which is my case. So, I looked backwards and I was like, oh my God, last year I had actually chosen the word super bloom and I totally failed. I felt a little bit like meh about it. And then I shared this with my husband, and my husband looked at me really funny and was like, what are you talking about? He's like, I don't think you're super bloom. You created it because of business. Business is always secondary. I mean, yes, we need to work to make money and everything. He's like, but business is secondary because you do so much more for our family. He's like, look at how you learn and how you grow and how you mother our children and you homeschool them and you do things for your community and you help with charity. He's like, look at all of this and look back at your year in this way. And then I was like, oh, yeah, you're probably right. And so I did journal what I have done and how I have felt in 2024. And yes, for sure, there were hard times, things that I haven't accomplished, a lot of anxiety that have come back. But all this is, if I analyze it, has actually been for the best. Everything happens for a reason, right? And as much as I don't really actually like saying this, sometimes it's really, really true. But then I looked at other aspects of my life, the one where I usually base my success on, and it's more regarding my own personal growth as a woman, as a mother, my mothering, my relationship and connection with my children and my family and my friends. And then I realized that I did super bloom, and that sometimes the super blooming also comes because it comes from challenges. So what happened also in the winter of 2024 is that homeschooling had become a little harder with my daughter, and I couldn't really pinpoint at first what it was. It was leaving me quite frustrated. So we took a break for like 2-3 weeks. We didn't do any work. I didn't ask her to do anything, and I just let her be, and I kept on doing, my thing. And I realized that there was something going on and that it was bigger than me, bigger than my ego as a mother, or bigger than what I really wanted to do. And I really had to face the fact that we do have neurodiversity in our family, and that despite knowing this, I really needed to dig deeper, know more, have a proper assessment done by professionals who know what they're doing, so then they can help me help her, and so they can help all of us in our family. So we had this assessment done. So it's called a psychoeducational assessment for neurodiversity. And did it help? I can't recommend it enough if you're really feeling like something's going on and you need the extra support and the extra understanding. What this assessment brought to our daughter, but to us as well as parents, is that we now understand much more of the nooks and crannies of how her brain works and how her emotional system works. And by having this done by people outside of our family, having psychologists and occupational therapists work into it, look into it, our daughter absolutely loved the assessment. She didn't mind it at all. She thought it was fun. And then having all the results and the explanation and the meetings with the professionals was so insightful. I can't be more grateful for 2024 for having brought us to these people who could look at our daughter from a totally different perspective and were totally able to explain to us certain things that were happening at home. And then it has helped us make different decisions. It has helped me as a mother and as a homeschooler interact with her, bring work in a different way. And it is so much easier and so much better now. So just if it was just for that and my mothering and my homeschooling, I can say that 2024 was really a super bloom year. But I also wanted to reflect on certain aspects of my work as well. And I did complete my whole Women's Circle facilitator training, which was with Rachel Rose, and I absolutely loved it. And now I am in the process of actually preparing my first Mother Circle here locally in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And I can't be more happy about it. It's just like so nice. It feels so true to me to be able to gather mothers and work with them like in person as well. And I really, really liked this. So I do think that 2024 was a super bloom year, just in a different way that I might have looked at it in the first place. So for 2025, I chose 2 words, nourishment and flourishing. Those words came from different books, actually, I have read at the end of 2024, and those words kept coming in different books. And those were the things that I needed the most to understand, like, to work on your anxiety and work on being, the mother you want to be. You do need the boundaries I was talking about earlier, but you do need the nourishment. You can't, pour from an empty cup. That's what we always say. So I do need the nourishment, and I am more than willing to work on the nourishment. I absolutely love it. And I have already different things that I'm thinking about to be able to nourish myself, fulfill myself, and also flourish, which means there will be new projects and new things coming in 2025, including different things in my community and also on omama.ca. But also probably in our family. I'm always open for things developing and growing anyway, because, when you have a family, it's never still. There's ups and downs, there's challenges every single day, but there's also so much love, so much compassion, so many beautiful things that we need to be able to see. And for that, I think the winter is amazing, because going inward, looking at our life and be able to, be humble and see that there are hard days and that we are not emotion proof, and we shouldn't be, but also be able to see all the beautiful moments we are creating as mothers, all these beautiful memories that are made, all these beautiful Christmases or Easters or birthdays or just reading a book and just thinking about these beautiful moments and realize how beautiful your work as a mother is, and also how amazing you are as a mother. So that's what I wanted to wish you for this first episode back of 2025. I'll be back this year. We'll have solo episodes, but also episodes with my daughter and episodes with amazing professionals that I will be interviewing, and I can't wait to share them all with you. So have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Mama, for listening to this episode of Understanding Mother Stories podcast. You can find us on Instagram at omamaworld or on our website www.omama.ca.